Hello! Welcome to our weekly talk. This is Monday, and every Monday we talk about the body care, and we have the best of the best to talk about that. And it's Dr. Mary Williams. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. And how are you, Erica?
Very good, very good. Very, very happy. I saw your video last week and I say, oh my God, I didn't know all that you present. So I really wanted to know more about how can we and how can I have my clean body, clean mind, right?
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to tell you all about it and give you a basic understanding of how toxins affect the body and then how to get rid of those toxins. And I'm not just talking about drugs, we're talking about radiation and chemicals and the food and the sun. And there's so many other things that can affect us, right? So just so I can introduce myself properly, my name is Dr. Marie Williams, and I'm a podiatrist in Aventura, Florida. But I also am a specialist in the detox program called the Purification Rundown, based on the book Clear Body, Clear Mind. And so I love to share my experiences with you about this subject and tell you how it all works very simply. So that's what I'm here for today. And I wanted to give you an overview so that if you had questions, you pick up the book Clear Body, Clear Mind. You can read all about it and then figure out how you yourself can be helped.
Beautiful, beautiful. But let me tell you something for our friends that are tuning. Dr. Mary Williams is also very known because she is a Hall of Fame basketball female player. How was that, Mary?
Well, that's pretty incredible, right? I am fortunate to be on a team that actually got into and inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2014. Our team, which was several teams 3 years in a row, won national championships in the 70s. And what our big thing was is how well we played as a team, not individuals. There were no superstars. We weren't a LeBron James, but we were definitely the best of the best as a group. And we won these championships. And then because of our fight for equal rights for women, we were really inducted into the Hall of Fame for all that we did there. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's a funny time because during that time, it was interesting that we weren't really looked at as real players until people came and saw us play, and then they were like, "Wait a minute, they're really good." And one
Wow.
we played in the Madison Square Garden in New York, which was huge. We had 12,000 people show up for our game, and only there was 6,000 people that showed up for the men's game. So you could see we had a huge following, and it was really incredible.
That's impressive, Mary. What was the name of the team?
It was Immaculata, the Mighty Max, Macs, and we even made a movie called The Mighty Max.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah. So
We have to check it out. We have to
yes,
check
for
it out.
sure.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I just paging here some friends because I know that they are very interested in this. If you are seeing this transmission, please share it because what we are share with you is very valuable. So we can in more in these times, right? What we need is to stay well, and to stay well, we need to learn how to take care about ourselves, right? It's something that sometimes we just take it for granted, but honestly, we need really a little bit more knowledge about that, right?
Absolutely. It's funny because this time during this pandemic, there have been many, many people who have locked themselves into their home and really aren't exercising or out there walking. Now more people are doing that, but at first they got so much in fear that they weren't out keeping their body healthy. So really during this period of time, it's really important to take vitamins and stay very healthy and sleep well and eat well. And that's what brings me to this subject of the clear body, clear mind, because these toxins that build up in your body can affect your mind. And it's so, so important that you understand it. A lot of people don't understand it. You know, I didn't really understand it until I read the book and I went through the purification program myself. And then I started to put many of my patients and people through the program. So I wanted to really share with you how simple the program is and what the concept of the program is all about.
Wow, fantastic. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And Marie, let me ask you something. As an athlete, because you also are an athlete, right? Let me just also share that Marie is still very active and she just won, right, last season, the senior championship basketball league, right?
That's right.
That's so beautiful. So even yourself, you yourself, just take care with these vitamins and just stay healthy, and you can be really continue with a career in doing in the high performance what you are doing in basketball.
Absolutely. So I played in the World Senior Games, the Huntsman Games, in 2019. And I recently played in the Texas Senior Games in January of 2020 before the pandemic. And our team, which is a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, we won the gold medal in both. So we do stay very healthy and active. And it's interesting that, you still have a mind of a 20-year-old, but your body is like in the seniors, right? But you still want to play at that level. So it's important that you stay healthy with your vitamins and nutrition and actually run and walk. And I just keep pushing that because I actually had a patient. I have to tell you this story,
Yeah,
Erica.
tell me.
I had a patient, she was in her 50s and she was diagnosed with a lung problem. And she thought, what am I going to do? I'm in my 50s. I've never exercised a day in my life. I've never run, and I have this lung problem, but how am I going to increase my lung capacity? And the doctor says, well, start exercising. So she started to run little bits, run here, run there, mile here, mile there. And she ended up becoming the world class marathon walker in the nation in her late 80s. World class, meaning she went all over the world and she was the fastest walker. And one of her friends was the fastest runner, and they were in their late 80s. So there's no age limit on keeping your body healthy and keeping your mind clear. So it's quite remarkable when you put it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. I will start doing that. Let's do less Facebook, more exercising. That's great. That's great. All right. So let's see what happened with the body, what happened with the mind, where the toxins are come from, and how they stick into the body, Mari.
So I wanted to tell you about that because every drug, every chemical that actually goes into the body, and when I talk about drugs, everyone thinks, oh, street drugs, the typical drugs like heroin, cocaine, marijuana. No, I'm talking about all drugs, anesthesia, Tylenol, which is a very common drug, or Advil. They actually stay in the body. Alcohol, these things stay in the body for a very long time. And what happens is many of these are fat soluble, which means they stick into the fat cells. And when something's fat soluble, it can actually be released back into the bloodstream anytime later. So Mr. Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard, found that if you sweat, these chemicals can come out of the body through the sweat. And if you he had developed a very precise program. He did this for a gentleman who was actually an alcoholic in jail. And he was asked, Mr. Hubbard, how can I get my body clear of all this stuff so I don't keep going back to alcohol? So he developed this program called the Purification Program. And it's out of the book, Clear Body, Clear Mind. And so here's what you do. So think about, let's keep it simple. So a simple drug, it doesn't matter, goes into the body. Let's say it goes into your mouth, through your mouth, into the bloodstream, creates its effect. And then it then has to go somewhere and it locks up in your fat. Now, so every time you take a drug of any sort, the mind gets altered a bit. It's not like a complete alteration of the mind, but you do become foggy or you become unattached to the pain. So you definitely have an effect on the mind.
Mm.
Later, these drugs or chemicals that have had those effect at that time can be expressed again. I'll give you an example. So I'll use basketball because it's a great example. So there's and this is a true story. This guy I know, he was executive in his company. Every Friday he'd go out and play. He would hoop it up with the guys. So he'd go play
Mhm.
basketball. But after he played basketball, he always felt a little foggy, dizzy. He sweat a lot. He didn't feel very good. And you would think just the opposite because he was playing sport. And found out that early in his life, he took a lot of drugs. He took a lot of,
Mm.
no, he didn't during his older years, but during his younger years, he took a lot of drugs. So what he was getting is a restimulation of those drugs because he was sweating. And those drugs can circulate in the body and then slow you down or make you groggy. I'll give you an example. Has anyone ever had a period of time in the day where they just felt exhausted, like they wanted to go to sleep? Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
Where did that come
Definitely.
from? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's actually toxins being released in the body. A good
Mm.
example of that is when you go into the sauna, you sweat and you're sweating out these toxins. Well, when it goes in, it goes in. The way it comes out the same way. So the effect of the drug on your body, let's take anesthesia. When that goes in, of course, you go to sleep or you're relaxed. And when it comes out, you go to sleep and you're relaxed. You have the same exact effect as it's being released through the bloodstream.
Mm.
I don't skip a gradient on this. So basically, the program is a program where you go into the sauna and you sweat. To get the blood going, you run for 20 minutes or so. And that gets all the body's bloodstream moving, and you take vitamins, niacin particularly, that actually starts to release these toxins into the bloodstream so you can start to sweat those toxins out. And then you go into the sauna, and now these drugs and chemicals are being released out of the fat into the bloodstream and then out of the body through sweat. And it's amazing because as you do that program, and you do it on a gradient every day, you do it a little more, up to about 4 to 5 hours in the sauna, but not consistently, but in and out, and it's very well controlled. You're now releasing these toxins. So while you're sweating in the sauna, you may taste alcohol. You may smell marijuana from the pores of your body. You may fall asleep because you had anesthesia. Whatever that, oh, the best one is, how about radiation effects like your sunburns? You would look at yourself,
Wow.
oh my God, that bathing suit, I never had a bathing suit like that except for when I was 8 or 9.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? And it's
And
funny.
and and Mary, you have seen that? It's real. Is everyone looks like a because sounds like a wow. How is that possible?
Yeah, no, I've seen it and I've experienced it. So, like when you're sitting in the sauna and you're watching everybody, it's kind of comical because you can tell, oh, this drug is really coming out. That person's really sleepy, or oh my gosh, this guy looks like he's drunk, or this guy is high, or but it only lasts for like short periods of time, 20 minutes,
Perfect.
15 minutes, 10 minutes, because it's once it comes out of the body, you're done. And the cool thing is once all this chemicals are out of the body, then you're putting in good nutrition back into the body, vitamins, minerals, and special oils. So your body
Wow.
can be rebuilt.
Wow, but let me do a stop here, Marie, because it sounds like incredible. So imagine that you and your our friends here, right? We have Sylvia here, Griselda over here. So our friends that are looking us, right? That I seen us. It's like a that's real to me that sometimes from nothing, coming out of nothing, I feel tired or
Yeah.
I feel like a very with a lot of I don't know, like a scratching or itching or and with no indicators, not from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes when I smell something, right, I just get like a dizzy.
Right.
And you are telling me that doing that program, right, or doing that process, I just can take it out of my body. So that
Exactly.
will not that no anymore will be there.
That's correct. It's really kind of fun because when you're done, oh my God, you feel your skin is like the softest baby skin ever. Your mind is so clear. you don't feel sluggish or tired, your IQ actually increases, which people say IQ doesn't increase. Absolutely untrue. When you get the toxins out of your body, you're a better thinker. You have a clearer mind. So you basically, when you take an IQ test before and after, your IQ always goes up. And you haven't like studied for the test, it's like really strange. But I think
That's incredible.
I told this story once. I'm going to tell it again,
Yes.
just in case we have a new audience. So I had a
Yes.
patient. She had liver disease, and her doctors gave her about 6 months or less to live. And I thought, and her liver was very toxic. And I thought, well, heck, if I could get the toxins out of her liver, maybe she would live longer. And I said to her, look, here's the deal. You have 6 months to live. Try this program. 3 weeks. Try this program, 3, 4 weeks, or however long it takes, but try this. It may give you longevity in your life, and it can't hurt you. So she says, okay, I'm in. And I
Wow.
got her doctors to say, okay, but they were like very skeptical, like this does not work. I'm like, okay, and maybe it doesn't, but you know what? It's going to give her something to do. It gives her more purpose. We're going to get these toxins out of her body, and we're going to see what happens. And
Uh-huh.
so during her disease process getting tested, she took on a lot of IV dyes, those red dyes that you go to look into the body. You don't do that much anymore, but they had to use these dyes to look at the kidneys and the liver and how it all worked.
Wow.
All those were toxins, and they were red. So I'm telling you this for a reason. Because when she was in the sauna, I went to see how she was doing, and one day I looked at her clothes. She sweat through her clothes, and they were bright red, like pink red, like her sweat was
Wow.
red. And then in the clothes and in her underclothes were holes because the stuff was made of an acid, and it was burning holes in her clothes. This was stuck in her body. So
Wow.
chemicals came out. Like they went and they came out, but they came out and they actually destroyed her clothes. And it was real. I took pictures of her clothes. I go, you don't mind? Believe this, right? And she got through the program, and she lived a very long time after that. And the doctors said it was a miracle that her liver regenerated into better tissue. So she lived another 5 or 6 years. So we gave her 5 years, and this was not intended to treat her medically. I want to say that
Yeah.
one more time.
Yeah.
This was not intended to treat her medically. But I thought if I can help her get some toxins out of her body, she would feel better. And it just helped her all the way through. And she actually loved the fact that we were able to give her a little bit more life. But I want to just be clear that it wasn't for that. It was just to get the toxins out of her system. The end result is that she felt better and more and healthier, and she did live longer. But the key is that what gave me a reality of the program is that how these toxins come out of the body, because I saw it with my own eyes.
That's incredible, Mary. And when you are saying that, I was just thinking in so many activities that we do every day in life, right? The other day I was just seeing a show that it was talking about the Victorian houses. I'm an architect, so I love to learn about that, right? But they were saying about the paper walls, right?
Yes.
That in order to put it there a lot of color, they use arsenic.
Oh,
And with the arsenic of the paper wall, right? And the lights that at that time it was kind of a candle, right? That created a reaction, a chemical reaction that were kind of poisoning the family.
wow.
And it is really interesting because we are exposed to too many chemical things, right? It's
Right.
not only drugs, it's just chemicals, it's smoke, dirty pollution, all of the things that sometimes we eat. Honestly, sometimes we do not behave all the time pretty healthy, honestly. And all of those things, right, it's not only drugs or alcohol or, it's simple around the people that are in construction. I remember also a time when I was working in a country and the construction materials were dangerous, but they discovered that after maybe 20 years of use. So this is incredible what you are telling me, because that gives us the opportunity to whatever we have been exposed to, we can just take it out of our body. That
That's
right?
that's correct. And the cool thing is once you get it out, you put in the good nutrition, because something else that is important is that every chemical, drugs, and likewise will compete with the body's natural vitamins and nutrition. So for every molecule of alcohol, you lose a molecule of calcium, magnesium, vitamin C. You
Wow.
lose those things. That's why alcohol is a good example. I always tell this story. Alcohol, you lose B1. That's why people get headaches, right? So a hot tip, if you're out there and you to prevent a hangover, you want to take a lot of B1 in water, because you're now going to replace the thiamine back into the body that the alcohol just took away, and you won't have those bad effects.
Wow.
An alcoholic coming off of alcohol, if you give them calcium and magnesium, they don't have the DTs, or the hard withdrawal. So it's just interesting, that they have. Matter of fact, one of my doctor friends invented a vitamin, a package of vitamins for the young kids. So when they go out and they take the vitamins after they've gone drinking, they don't have hangovers in the morning. It was like the vitamins that she was giving everybody.
Oh my God.
Funny. But it is true. I mean, our body's being constantly bombarded with radiation and chemicals, and not just drugs, but toxins. And we have an incredible opportunity to get these things out of our body. From a
Wow.
sports point of view, this is a cool
Mhm.
thing. What happens in the athlete is their reaction time is faster. Like they can run faster, move faster. They're, to go quicker is increased. They're not sluggish or tired. They're definitely faster. In
Wow.
in someone who's kind of having a hard time reading or thinking, their mind is clearer, so their ability to study is clearer.
Wait, because I think that that is a very important subject. Because that's impressive how sometimes, right? Our friends in the audience maybe know someone in the family or whatever that maybe considers that have study problems or attention problems or vaguely can grasp some concepts, or the way of thinking is a little bit slow or whatever. And they just put it sometimes into more medication, right? And more medication and more medication and more medication. And at the end of the day, you are poisoning the body. I mean, there are situations when you need medication, but there are others that are the wrong solution.
Right. So true, right? So that's sort of why I do this program, or I'm trying to tell people, because there are answers. There's answers and solutions to this biochemical society that we're in. I call it a biochemical society because anytime you want to, you have a headache, you take a pill, or instead of thinking, oh, maybe I need some B1 or I need some calcium or magnesium, it's much easier to go and put in an Advil into the system. You know what I mean? And trust me, I'm
Wow.
a surgeon, so if someone needs a painkiller, they're going to get a painkiller after I do an operation. But that doesn't mean they need to be on it for the next 10 years, right? No. So
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing how much we could use nutrition, vitamins, and things, and minerals that could solve a lot of the problems, instead of constantly being one drug added to the next drug added to the next drug because of the side effects. So let's say you take a drug and it has a side effect of headache. So then you take the headache drug to get rid of the headache. But that headache drug gives you high blood pressure. So then you take the high blood pressure pill that makes you feel sleepy. So
Wow.
you take the wake up pill so you're not sleepy. And then you can't sleep, so then you take the sleeping pill. And before you know it, you're taking 10 pills to combat a fact that you might have just had a little headache.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy,
You are
right?
describing perfectly. You're describing perfectly what one does, when we consider that something is wrong. But Marie, what we are talking is so powerful, because that opens the door to a very clear body, clear mind, clear thinking, clear activity. It's kind of refreshing, so I think that will be really, really interesting, Marie, if we can talk next week and go in a little bit more deep about the vitamins piece, right? About the how can we, energize and protect our body without taking other drugs other special drinkings and whatever.
I would love to talk about that. So remember, this is the book. I don't know if you can see that, Clear Body, Clear Mind. It's an incredible book. Gives you a lot of data about the body and how the toxins affect the body, and then how the program works. The other thing that I talk about a lot, if you've seen some of my shows, is the truth about drugs. You know, we're not the kind of people that are going to preach, say no to drugs, don't take drugs, because really that doesn't help anybody. You know,
Mhm.
trust me, as a kid, if my mom said don't or no, the first thing I wanted to do is do. You know, so saying no made you want to try it, or maybe look at it, or maybe touch the hot stove. You know what I'm talking about? Don't touch that stove. It's hot. Well, let me feel it to
Yeah.
see if it's really hot. And then you burn yourself and go, oh, wow, it's hot. Well, we don't want to say no to you. But honestly, if you became a very educated consumer, you understood what drugs did to the body, if you understood the side effects and the effects of what it's causing for you, you probably would make a better choice. Or you would make the same choice, but at least you would have the knowledge that it could be dangerous for you. And nobody could argue with you because now you know. So I love this little video, The Truth About Drugs. It actually
Oh,
comes from drugfreeworld.org. And either of these two things can really set you into a better mindset of knowledge. And you know, knowledge is so powerful. Today, we need to learn for ourselves and be certain about what we know. And that's what this is about. You know, don't believe just me. Read about it, look at it, you know, and find out for yourself what's true for you, because that's the whole story, really. So next week we'll
wow.
talk about the vitamins and how they work on the body and how they take out the drugs. And it'll be fun, you know, because you'll get a better understanding of that too. And so I'm hoping to see you next week. And please bring your friends.
That's fantastic, Marie. And for the audience, please, friends, when you see this, because I know that you are going to see it in the replay and we'll leave it all the week, just put in the comments where are you contacting or seeing this video? And also, I'm going to put it in the comments the direct email of Dr. Mary Williams. So if you can ask her a private question, you always can reach her. And also, if you have a situation, you also can reach her. And if you are more interested about knowing about this detox program, also you can reach her. And I'm gonna put as well the link for the book. I have my own version in Spanish. It's available. So we're gonna put this information here. We hope you have more information. The purpose, as Dr. Mary Williams says here, is that you get educated more in what you decide to do with your body, right? And simple things matter. Like imagine with this program, 1 month, let's say, of this program can get rid of those toxins that have been in the body for I don't know how long in years, right? But Dr. Mary Williams, thank you very much. We are pleased to stay with you, be connected, and see you next Monday.
All right. Have a good night and a great week and stay healthy.